something I think that a lot of people won't talk about, and we'll get to that in the end, is the real reason, the ultimate reason, the reason beyond physicality and spirituality, why to meditate. Hello and welcome. Today you searched up why people meditate and it led you here. So good to see you. Good to meet you. I definitely have some of my own opinions, but if you were to give it a quick Google search, a lot of people will say they look up meditation and want to meditate because of focus, to build confidence, for health reasons, for anxiety, depression, for goal achievement, and better relationships. I personally have been meditating since I was in my early 20s, and I'm 34 now. So a pretty long time. And I can attest that every single one of those things is absolutely correct. They're all true. So any form of meditation that you're going to get into is going to help significantly improve your life with practice. But something I think that a lot of people won't talk about, and we'll get to that in the end, is the real reason, the ultimate reason, the reason beyond physicality and spirituality, why to meditate. But first, I'd love to discuss some of this earlier stuff that I talked about. One being focus. I think that it is really easy, especially nowadays, to lose focus. There's so many things happening all the time that are trying to grab your attention. Phones are built to keep you on the phone. The apps are built to keep you on the apps. So it's tough. It can be really tough, especially when you are a freelancer, or honestly, I don't think even especially. It's just tough, unless you're literally working on a farm in a field and connected to nature every day, like that's your job. We're all pretty much online chronically, and it can be really tough. The whole practice of meditation is grabbing your attention, keeping your attention, and putting it towards what you want to put it towards, which is why it helps with focus, which is why it helps with the rest of this laundry list. The second thing I mentioned was confidence. I personally feel like the more I meditated, the more I got to know my inner self, my true self. And through that, it built my confidence. That definitely was a bit more of a long-term thing, but especially once you feel like you're getting into good meditations and you're feeling like you're coming out of meditation sessions really, feeling really refreshed and renewed, that confidence really starts to build. So definitely building confidence in yourself. Anxiety, along with the fact that our phones are buzzing all the time and it seems like there's always a new thing to get into, all that overload, all that constant coming at you can definitely build anxiety, on top of the fact that it feels like we're all isolated, but also more social than ever. I feel personally, I don't know if you guys feel this way, I always feel like I have some kind of social social thing that I need to go to, and when I don't get the time to rest my brain, I just feel anxious when I'm around people. So sometimes doing a meditation before I go out or before I do stuff really helps me. It really, really helps me. Depression. I definitely feel like most adolescents, I went through a depressive phase, and even into my early 20s, I went through a depressive phase. I am queer, and my family did not take very kindly to it. So I was kind of boot scooted into being, starting my young adulthood all by myself, and that can make anybody depressed. So meditation helped me feel a bit closer, I feel like, to myself. It helped me become my own friend, and realize my value, and that, and then with all the rest of this stuff, especially with confidence, helped me go out into the world and have, meet my chosen family. And, I think that blood family is really special and really sweet, but just because you don't have that connection, or just because you weren't born into those kinds of connection, doesn't mean that you can't find them later in life. So, I if there's anybody listening that definitely is going through that, I am letting you know that this is definitely a path to finding community around you, as well as being, just so comfortable with yourself and being alone. I definitely feel like people are social creatures, but not in the way that we need to be around bad company in order to feel fulfilled in that. Goal achievement. Yeah, like I said, I am a full-time musician. It is a very difficult thing. And I do original music. I don't really do a lot of covers. So I make music. I play the ukulele. I play the electric ukulele. If you want to check it out, I'll drop it down somewhere. No big deal. But just for the purpose of the story, because meditation helps me to focus and it helps me achieve my, or it helps me to focus, it helps me achieve my goals. So if I, know how to focus on my energy, okay, I need to record this song, or I need to write these songs. All right, I need to make sure that I post my video and then get offline. All those things at any point throughout those processes can pose a threat for, just losing interest and losing focus. But because my focus, because I've been practicing meditation throughout the years, and I can usually focus on something when I need to do it. It wavers all the time, depending on how busy I am, depending on so many factors. But meditation has helped me achieve that goal. In fact, I've been making music since I was young, but I only started the ukulele project in 2020. And by 2024, I was working part-time and then full-time as a musician. I was able to make that transition. So that was something really, really beautiful that came out of, meditation that I didn't foresee coming, but definitely enjoyed that part. And better relationships. I feel like when you know yourself a little bit better, you can communicate your needs, your wants, and your desires to the people around you a little bit better. And you don't feel so anxious about maybe what that answer is or what their response to you is going to be. So I definitely feel like meditation helps with that, because you have to trust yourself and you have to trust the people around you to be ordered to communicate and, give and receive love. And if you're anxious about, what people are going to say or what they're going to think, or if they're, if you're trying to people please, all that stuff, it bleeds into relationships and friendships, and it can cause resentment, and we don't want that. So meditation definitely helps you with your, your personal relationships. Now, the big thing for me that I think, if anybody else has been meditating for years and years and feels this kind of way, I'd love to hear from you. But meditation really is about something way bigger than all of these, secondary things that come with the beauty of getting your mind right. And that thing is that once you discover who you are, you begin to awaken to what your real point of life is, what your personal destiny is. And through that personal destiny, you can leave the world a better place. That's it. That's the whole point. Because we live here, because, humans can get greedy, because there's a small portion of people who are controlling everything. We are really taught to believe that the point of it all is to make money and to buy a bunch of stuff and to be able to leave a bunch of stuff to our children and to the future generations. And although I think that those things are pretty cool, there is something way deeper that's happening. This world is so beautiful. It is, without a doubt, mind blowing. The fact that we're here on this planet, like the probability, all of it. And I don't think it's necessarily, I don't think it's by coincidence that we're all here. I think that we're supposed to be helping each other and making the world a better place. But it's difficult to do when you're chasing the almighty dollar sign, because then you get distracted from what your real purpose is. If I were to be doing what I was doing before I was making music, I'd be working as a courier or working at a coffee shop. And those things were cool. They actually, especially the courier job, that was fun. I got to meet a bunch of people and hang out. Honestly, working at the cafe too. Now I know all about coffee, and that's a pretty fun skill to have. But making music is the thing for me. Connecting with people is the thing for me. That has helped me spiritually more than any other career path I think I could have ever picked for myself. It's not about fame and fortune. You probably watching this don't have a freaking clue who I am. And that doesn't bother me at all. Really where I'm at now is there's a quote by Toni Morrison that I love. I can't think of my password right now, but it's along the lines of, if you are free, your job is to free somebody else. And I feel, as intense as it feels to live here in America right now, I do feel like mentally and spiritually, I do feel free. So I'm just here to encourage people to also seek self-freedom, to look into inside and find out what is the thing that makes you tick and apply that. You are not alone in thinking like this rat race is low-key garbage. And there really is no end. There's always going to be new stuff to buy. There's always going to be new businesses to start. There's always going to be new trends. There's always going to be new stuff. But your peace of mind and joy, which I feel like joy is different than happiness, where happiness kind of comes from, buying the next cool thing or, going on a fun vacation. Like that makes you really happy. But joy is internal. Joy lives in the soul. And you can find that through meditation. That joy, that unshakable ancestral joy can be found through meditation. I hope you start your meditation practice today. If you don't know how to meditate, then, let's talk about it. Because there's all different kind of ways. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way. I think it's the way that works for you. So take care. Happy meditation. Take care of each other, guys.